body as 600 different muscles, which is correct to some extent. Okay, but we also see a world of, we can see a world of 120 or 195 countries, or we can see a world of 8 billion peoples. That's kind of the same here. We can choose to divide the body or see it as a unity. But the body is not 600 muscles, it's one sheet of fascia that connects 600 muscles. Okay, so if we look at it the reductionistic way that we did in the old days and still to some degree do, it would make sense to say, okay, we have to isolate the body as much as possible because we want to grow this muscle, we want to grow this muscle, we want to grow these muscles, and so forth. But the only thing we're doing is creating over-tension within small areas. And that's what I told you about this Monday, about myofascial releasing, how it works. We are constantly locking the body in sustained contractions because we're overworking small areas. And what do we know about fascia? It's one sheet that connects everything. So you cannot break a unity up into small pieces and say, I have to only stimulate you. That doesn't work like that. And that's also why this will become obvious in 5 or 10 years when we all know about fascia, because you cannot have this knowledge and still neglect it. So in traditional fitness, you would say, we need to target the biceps. So we contract it, relax it. Contract it, relax it. X amount of time to induce hypertrophy and strength. And that's fine, at least if the goal is hypertrophy. But who the fuck wants to be big if you have no function in your body? At least, I don't know if there's even people who want that, but they still do to some extent. So it's fine to do isolated work, to do bodybuilding, hypertrophy work if you want to get bigger. But if you want to move, you have to see the body as the connective path that it is. I will show you the evidence for this later. For now, you just need to understand how it works. So if I were to exercise my biceps, I would try to see if I could get it connected to somehow, some kind of motion. Would the biceps should be connected to my calf? Would that make sense?
No.
No? So how should biceps connect to movement if that would make sense in any way?
Picking up something and throwing.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely something with the shoulder.
Something about the shoulder, right? So if we were to take this to the next level, I want to get better biceps. We need to look at it from a more multidimensional standpoint. And it could be anything. That's also what you're going to learn today, not to do what I do, but to basically think about things for yourself. So biceps could be curling, pushing, extending. Okay? Getting down here, curl, push, and extend. All the way from the bottom and up. The more of the body we can integrate, the better. Okay? Could also be rowing, rotating, and pushing. The possibilities are endless. You can really basically do what you want to do. So with movement, you need to make it multi-dimensional. And I have a little quote up here that I always tell people about, that strength is not about how heavy a weight you can carry, how much you can squat. Strength is the ability of your muscles to manage and distribute load throughout broad ranges of motion. So if I can take 10 kilo here, which is not actually 10 kilo, it's something else, it's just level 10. If I can take this and like row it here, rotate with my legs all the way out here and push here. This is strength throughout the entire body because we're able to manage load and distribute it in a broad range of motion. Because how much can you benefit from taking a very, very heavy barbell here, going down here, and going up again? How much?
Not so much.
Like this movement is for people who are not able to stand up from a chair. Okay? Why would you want to be strong in this position? Why not be strong in something that can benefit your movement potential in the long run, right? That's more transferable, that utilizes the entire body from down and up.
How do you feel about like muscle ups and pull ups and that sort of stuff?
These techniques.
Yeah, but you're not grounded then, so it's that.
Calisthenics is fine,
Yeah.
just like climbing,
Yeah.
but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And why it's not perfect?
Because it's bi-dimensional, no? It's you don't.
It's multidimensional in the upper
You
body.
don't use your glutes.
Not sure your feet.
Right?
There is nothing from pelvis and down. So you still lack the pelvic spinal counter rotation.
Yeah.
So it's good if you can combine it with something. That's also why I said, or as I say to people, do pull-ups, do dips.
Even a lot of pulling can make your shoulders.
Sure. But never neglect multidimensional movement. You can even do a little bit of bodybuilding as long as the base of your training is multidimensional movement, because it's important for your body to keep remembering the fundamental movement patterns that it's born to do. And then you can add a little bit of bodybuilding or calisthenics or Pilates or whatever you do to complement your lifestyle and do something that you actually think is funny.
Maybe 80
Okay.
or something.
So that's very important. You need to learn here that strength is not about loading up your body with weight, because the only thing you're doing is teaching your muscles to extend, contract, extend, contract. When you do the multidimensional movements, you're learning mobility, proprioception, the ability of your muscles to communicate together through difficult networks.
So, question. So